to the show, everybody. Welcome back, everybody, to Watching the Throne, episode 97 on the Late Night Chat Network, your first stop for pop culture talk. I'm your host, Nico, or Sir Nico Maester Fax here today. I'll be leading us through the episode. But, of course, we got our co-host here with us today, JT, a.k.a. Egg. What's going on? All grown up.
No pun intended.
And our returning other co-host, Christina, a.k.a. The Mother. There you go.
I was struggling with a name, guys. I don't know. And then I was like, oh, the Mother. Yes.
In the name
welcome back. You were missed. And apologies to anybody that did end up checking out our last episode. It was actually me and Jay together in person. We recorded that one. But for the first half, I was a bit laggy. Just kind of getting used to, again, doing these episodes live again and doing these things live and figuring out the notes and figuring out the setup of how to kind of go about that again. So, and by the time we figure everything out, we'll be on hiatus again to the summer. So bear with us. I mean, this has been a lot of fun, but I know it's been kind of, a little bit different than usual. Like one week, Jay slept through the episode. The other week, Christina was away. We might have some guests on in the future. Who knows, for, House of the Dragons return or maybe, but when we close out the season. Yeah, that's right.
You never know about Game of Thrones. It's just like Game of Thrones and the whole series here. You never know where it's going to throw you.
Yeah. So, but yeah, no, this has been a lot of fun so far, and we're happy to have all the hosts here back together again here after the last couple of weeks, ready to talk about this episode. This episode, by the way, is In the Name of the Mother, A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms, season 1, episode 5.
I'm going to be completely honest. I don't think I read the right book because I don't remember any of this.
Which novella did you read then? You
I
read
don't know what book I read.
Okay.
I literally downloaded the audiobook and it was A Knight of the Seven, like the Hedge Knight, and then the next one, like it was like a 3-part book. So it's like it was, I don't know. It was audiobook. I don't remember anything. Like, I don't know what book I read, but it wasn't this one, because what I was going to say from the last episode was my recollection of who comes to like help Dunk was not Balon. Like, it wasn't him.
Yeah. Okay.
So, but it's like, obviously it's true to the book, but I was shook. I was completely like, him? Like, really?
Right.
I don't know. And then, of course, what happens in this episode, I was not expecting that at all either.
Right. So
I don't know what book I read, but it wasn't this one.
I'm curious, though, how many liberties they've been taking in terms of the story. But from what I understand, though, this is what happens. Like, so far, like I've been kind of looking into it a little bit, but trying not to.
Sorry. I've been, I looked, I'm like, is the TV adaptation true to the story? Because I don't remember any of these details. I don't know. Maybe I was out to lunch, like when I listened to this, I wasn't paying attention. I don't know what the heck was happening, but like, this was not what I remember. So don't listen to me. I'm just a fan. I have no idea what I'm talking about.
You know what,
the only thing I retained, obviously, was that Egg was Aegon. Like, that was the only thing I retained, obviously.
Right. You know what, though? That's not the worst thing in the world, though. At least you're going to be surprised with the rest of us then, if that's the case, whether you read it or just forgot it or not, right? Or read something else in this series of novellas, right? So you were just as surprised, I guess, as the rest of us then with that. Because, like, for me, I was so pumped up at the end of last episode with the way that they ended that and how, like, you know what I mean? Like, the whole, like, honor, like, of being a knight and this kind of, like, stuff. Like, I loved when, with Baelor there, like, stepped up for him and actually said that he was gonna fight with him at the end, and what a surprise that was, right? And then with this episode, we get like probably the most serious like episode of the season yet with this one we're going to talk about here today, and probably like the closest in terms of like some of the action and drama to like what we would expect from a Game of Thrones show in this one. So but the only thing I'll say though is like there seems to be still so much left on the table for one more episode to go. Like I know there's going to be other stories, but like the fact that we haven't even touched on him being in the tournament. Like he hasn't made it to the actual tournament other than this trial here. And I don't think he's going to be in any shape to do anything next episode. So I guess it's not going to matter in the grand scheme of things, at least that part of it. But then there was that whole other plot about him, the betting thing where they offered him that thing where he was going to come out and on top as a champion. But yet here he is, kind of looking like one at the end of this episode, in the sense that like he overcame this injustice in a way, like not looking one, like when he got the shit beaten out of him in this episode, he almost died. Like I mean, yeah. So you liked last episode. Let's get into it then. Overall thoughts about this episode, because we're already talking about it right now. What an episode.
Yeah.
What an episode.
It reminded me of sex, man. It had me feeling like it was longer than 2 minutes, and then it just ended. It brought me right to the peak, and then just, oh my God, I can't pull back. And it just, this is the thing I hate about this series in general, because it's so short. It's like that peak, you're right there, and it just, when that fucking side, that the credit is going to go up. And it's like, you sons of my guns, man. But,
yeah, my only criticism about it was, and I didn't hate it after the fact, but in the moment, I hated how they went to flashback. Like,
I know you're not a big fan of flashback, right?
No, not necessarily. They can lead to good, interesting character moments that add to the ongoing.
You don't like, right?
Dream sequences I don't like. Yeah. I mean, flashbacks are kind of like, they're not as bad as dream sequences. But again, like if it adds to the character development of the ongoing story, then I don't have a problem with it. But you got to kind of pick and choose where you're going to drop in a flashback. And this series has had flashbacks almost every episode. But I just hated how we got treated to half of the episode being that flashback right in the middle of this fight. But even so, coming out of the flashback, it was still the fighting scenes were still so good that we were treated to. We really didn't need much. Like the focus wasn't really as much on the other fighters on the battlefield as much as they've mentioned, what had happened and certain people that had died. And obviously the way it ended with Baylor, but I thought they gave us still just enough, like that, where I was like, that I was, again, just by the end, like you said, your whole climax analogy, I was like, oh my God, this is crazy. What happens at the end? Like, what do you think,
For
Christina?
Like 2 seconds of pleasure. It's like 2 minutes episode.
Yeah.
But it's like full pleasure.
Yeah, I think the flashback was too long.
Yeah.
But at the same time, the fighting seemed the most realistic to me out of all the battles that we've ever seen on Game of Thrones or House of the Dragon.
Oh, that's a hot take.
This is exactly what
a
night.
Yes.
Fight. Yeah, night on night it would be. Yeah.
Yes. No, that's a good point. I get where you're coming from with that. Yeah.
For sure.
Like the night aspect of this, like being in like the trenches, being in the mud, like hand-to-hand combat with swords and all that other shit that we were treated to here. You're not wrong. Yeah. But
yeah, like, I mean, yes, we've had great battle scenes and whatnot, but I think this was the most true to what a night's battle would actually be like. And it was enough for me to be like, okay, I don't need much more. It was great. But the flashback, I think, was a little too much.
Yeah, I was bothered by it when it started. I was like, oh, come on.
First, but you needed it, I think, bro. Because they still haven't touched on any part of that whole before he was a knight type of thing.
Like I said, when it was done, I wasn't mad at it. But at the time when they first hit us with it, and I'm with Christina too, it was a little lengthy. Like it was half the runtime of the episode, that flashback. It really was. It was like
they needed to give him some sort of character, because we knew that he was an orphan, but we didn't know anything.
It didn't need to be that long, though.
It took me a second to realize that that was they were focusing back on him too, because I realized, yeah, he was a little taller kid than normal. He was a blonde haired kid, but still didn't kick in right away that he was Duncan.
No, I got it right away. I actually thought they did a pretty good job of picking the guy to play him as a younger.
No, that
guy.
I thought so too.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah,
100%.
I got to see what now, but we wanted to see what you needed to have some sort of baseline storyline for him. They haven't mentioned anything except for what he said about his night that they came
Right.
in. Now you
For
get to see
Arlen.
it in sort of like how he met him too, in a sense.
Even the whole thing of like him being the guy to be like, get up, like that whole part, like that's fine. Like I'm not hating on that aspect of it. I'm just like, I just think that like to start us off with the episode and like with the action and then cut like 2 minutes into the flashback was like, you know what I mean? Like it was a little, it threw me off, and I wasn't expecting. I wouldn't have been mad at a little bit more battle scenes. Like if we kind of did touch on seeing like the other players like out there on the field a little bit, right? Like I wouldn't, again, it worked for what it was, but I agree with what Christina was saying about it being a bit lengthy and kind of, and taking me out of it there for a moment, right? Where I was just like, okay, I just need to get back to the like what's going on there, because and let's be honest, like it makes sense that he got taken out right away in terms of this guy's experience.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I'm glad he got his ass kicked to the point where he almost died, to the point even knowing that this is Game of Thrones. I thought he might have been dead. Like in any other occasion in a Game of Thrones type of episode, the direction that was going for this character, like I turned to Christine, I'm like, I think he's dead. Like that's it. Like when we were watching it, I'm like, I guess I didn't know that this story was going to end for this guy so early, right? I really thought that's what they were going to do there, and 9 times out of 10, I feel like, or there would have been a scene where when he got up, I swear to God, bro, I was scared that somebody in the background was going to like go by on the horse and cut his head off when he stood up, like something like that, like in the background or something like that. I don't know about you guys, if you anticipated that, but I thought for a second, well, maybe, I guess, again, Christina knows he doesn't die, I guess, in this story, but I thought there was a very good chance there. I'm like, how is this guy living?
How is this guy? He's getting fucking poked. He's getting shit in his fucking ribs or stomach, the fucking everything, boom, right across the chest.
Yeah.
Fucking, what is that thing called? With the
lance.
Yeah.
Oh, the mace. Yeah, he got a mace to the face. Yeah. Well, as we see at the end of this episode, that's what killed Baelor, right? I mean, Baelor basically got killed as a result of the mace to the back of the head, and he got bashed around in the front of the face and on the battlefield with it. Like this guy, if this guy wasn't built like a brick shithouse, he would have been dead. Like the fact that this guy's huge, I'm sure helps in that sense, but there's no reason as to why this guy got this hurt and didn't.
He was
die.
Like a human pincushion.
Yeah.
Oh, big time.
Yeah.
Big time.
And that, like, I think he got stabbed like 12 times. Do we have a final count?
He got a sword thrown into his leg at one point, through the hand, and then at least poked and deep dagger like thrust into his side and the lance like on the horse. Yeah, like at least we're talking about more than 10 times he got stabbed. More the blood loss
fucking
is insane,
tall, bro.
Yeah,
he's you know what? He's not normal. He's not a normal human being for that time. He's one of those like the Hound type of guys that could probably take a fucking beating.
They kind of went the opposite though. Like we're so used to seeing the unbelievable stuff not happen on this show, in the sense like they try to bring you back to reality sometimes in the deaths of these characters. Yeah. Where the choice in this story was the crazy unbelievable thing that happened was him actually surviving this ordeal. You know what I mean? Like, I'm so used to thinking that these guys are going to get taken out in these scenarios that I actually did not. I honestly thought he was done for. Okay, so with that being said, I guess we'll get into the episode. We'll go through the scenes here now. Hopefully Christina's able to join back up with us today. She's having some major internet issues on her end. I don't know what's going on there today, but she's trying, but she might have to sit this one out if it persists. So let's hope she's able to kind of drop in on the episode here with us. If not, maybe she can even continue along in the chat there if you want to kind of just let her know, Jay, maybe we can just highlight some of her comments as we go through as a way to kind of circumvent this laggy issue that she's having on her. And I think that'd probably be the best alternative if she isn't able to get back on screen here with us with the internet. At least then we'll have some activity here in the comment section, and anybody who kind of passes through here is checking these episodes out live. If you had any commentary, anything you want to say about the episode, feel free to jump in. Anybody who's coming and passing through as we record these. And if you guys missed these episodes live, hit us up in the comments. Let us know what your thoughts are on the series so far. We'd be happy to hear it.
Yeah.
Make sure to like and subscribe as always. Yeah. All right. So first up, we got Baelor Targaryen opens up the episode after he kind of gave his announcement at the end of the last one that he was going to join them. He's saying he's telling them to remain in formation, don't panic, keep on your mounts as long as you can. Kind of during this back and forth between them during this trial of the 7. He's trying to give them some pointers, right? Being probably one of the more experienced jousters or like people in these types of tournaments, right? And you got to remember too, he has a lot on the line. He's like trying to make it so, he doesn't want to kill his family members, but at the same time, he's still trying to defend this guy's honor because he knows that he shouldn't be in this position to begin with, right? So like it's an interesting position that he's in. He's facing off against his own family here, and if they really bring it to him as they ended up doing in this episode, although we don't know who's the one that kind of served the final blow as of yet. He says it was his mother.
Take on 3 of them,
right? So he's clearly somebody who's very confident in his skills. He's like, I got the Kingsguard, right? So yeah, exactly.
Yeah, he's like, you know what? They're bound. They're forbidden to hurt a thing, but it doesn't really matter, man. I mean, you have to see, right? He even said you have to see through the battle, right? I thought that was interesting because he does technically have a lot of power in a sense because he is the heir. I guess would be an heir to the throne if his brother wasn't around. So I don't know. It's just it's weird that scenario how it played out, like how he just decided to join. I liked it. I like how he stepped up and said he's gonna fight against his family because he thinks they're in the wrong.
Right.
That was nice. I'd like to know who did it to him because somebody's gonna have some answering to do in the next episode.
Raymond Fossaway and Dunk end up puking after he kind of gives this little speech, and then Humphrey Harding, he yells out, "Green fucking boys!" Like a little green, like these green fighters, right? They're not used to it, so they're getting sick to their stomachs, literally here, right? So the nerves, nerves are getting to them.
Bro, it's a big scene. I'd be shitting my pants too.
Sure. Then we get an appearance of the other guy that signed up with him that we didn't really see last episode, Humphrey Beesbury, Jay. And now this is the first and last time you see this character because as we learn later on, he gets killed along with his other Humphrey guy, Humphrey Harding and Humphrey Beesbury apparently got killed during this battle here as well. So do you like that? His stash, the orange color that his stash was the same on his chest. Did you see that? Yeah. It matched his like crest on like his actual armor for this episode. I thought that was hilarious.
Oh.
Then he basically just says finally Baelor is like he just gives a final don't die. Just make sure not to die out there. And then they go start off here. Dunk gets his lance from his squire, Egg. He's like, my lance, squire. Turns around to Egg, who's obviously very happy to kind of be there for him as his squire. He's like, you best be here when I get back. Rob me and I'll hunt you down with the dogs. And then he jokingly does like a rough, like a dog, like kind
that
of
was cute.
That was nice.
A very meaningful scene. Like I said, with just few words, just the emotional acting that they do and the great acting that they do, it makes it really stand out, and it makes it really exciting to see it because you don't have to say much to understand that exchange was very sweet between the two of them.
I love that kid. Yeah, that kid's great. I mean, all this behind the scenes stuff I've been watching too, and I've been seeing. lately has been great, like of them interacting and everything. So
Yeah. Oh yeah. I can't wait to see how his character kind of grows in the next 3 seasons.
um they announced that they announced them in for the trial of the seven. They secure their helms and charge at one another. Dunk freezes at the start and stalls. Then he ends up running out with the horse. He instantly gets stabbed in the stomach by a lance from Aerion Targaryen, who then takes out his mace and smashes him off his horse. We then cut to a scene from the past. So this is kind of where we're going to go fully into the past occurrences here as he's younger, that we learn about him in Flea Bottom. Dunk, it cuts to Dunk when he's younger, rummaging through a battle site trying to find things to sell, and he comes across a survivor crushed under the weight of mud and a horse. He tries to kill him to take him out of his misery, when a friend of his, Raph, comes up and suggests if they can save him, they can sell him for ransom, but he ends up dying while they tried to wrestle him out from under the horse. That was more cruel than just leaving the fucking guy.
How do you sell him for ransom? And then to think that you're going to push a fucking 3-ton or 2-ton horse off a fucking guy. Like,
if anything, they just made him suffer more before he died there.
Yeah, you heard him trying to scream there.
And, that was a traumatizing scene there for Dunk, too, what ended up happening. So, yeah, that didn't really go all too well. But we've seen this.
To suffocate him. He wanted to put him out of his misery. Like,
yeah, we've seen this on Game of Thrones before, like mentioned about the rummaging through, like, we've seen that kind of stuff happen on Game of Thrones. And yeah. So, like, that's nothing new, right, in this world, right? Especially if we're going to talk about the people in Flea Bottom that are very poor and suffering, like a lot of these guys, they're street urchins and stuff like that. So yeah, so that's not a surprise that these guys try to get anything they can grab or steal, or like they got to do stuff to survive, right? These guys. So and then Rafe says that Dunk has to say words for the dead man so he doesn't end up in hell. She said, you're going to say some words, like a little eulogy, right? And he says he has no words. So then she says, yeah, okay, check his mouth. I know a witch that pays copper for teeth. Which was also messed up. Again, it's just funny because she tries to say something, do something nice for this guy, and then the next section, and then the next time, the next thing she says is just like, fuck it, just grab it, try to get his teeth out of his mouth, right? Yeah. All right, there we go. So we got Christina up in the chat here due to some internet issues on her end, but I'm glad she's able to join us this way. Brutal opening jousting scene. Yeah, but so badass. I loved Egg yelling at Thunder to up, go, like when he was training and prepping him. That's right. I forgot about that. Yeah. That's right. That's awesome. Let's see here. They're walking back, and Dunk is bothered by seeing the man die in that way. They then see a man on horseback coming down the road with what appears to be a dead man in a sack, like on the side of the horse. Did you notice that? Seemed like there was like a dead guy there in the side. So
no, I didn't. Maybe that was part of the ransom. Who knows, man? Maybe
it looked like a body. It looked like a body, like in the sack on the side of the horse. Unless I just read that wrong. Again, I had to do my own notes for this, so that's my interpretation.
When they were walking back to Flea Bottom,
and then they went off to the side of the road to kind of get out of the guy's way. When he kind of, rode by in the horse, it looked like he had like a big sack, and it looked like he had like a.
Some bodies there.
That guy on horseback was the first sighting of House Frey. There you go.
Oh, that was a crazy one. They used to sleep with the old man, right? They used to sleep with all his
I believe
daughters.
So. I believe that's what
if
that
I'm
house
not mistaken,
is.
Frey
Yeah. And it forecasts the allegiance for future alliances between Frey and Targaryen. There you go. Nice. Okay.
Maybe they're picking up people that were still alive. Maybe they were was it more than one body? I can't remember now. I thought it was like a few of them on there. Like it was like almost like bringing back.
He had a bag. He had like a big sack on the side of the horse. I don't know if it was like, it looked like bodies were in it though. Maester Stats Christine. Yeah, exactly. Thank you for that. I'm glad. I see this is what I mean. I mean, it's not the same not having you on screen here today, but you're contributing here still at least the conversation. You're busting out things we had no idea. So yeah, definitely a body on the horse, Jay. She agrees. Yeah. Dunk says he doesn't know why they're in such a rush to leave anymore. The war is over. The Black Dragon is dead. He said that someone named Ferret said we would all get free bread now. Rafe asks if he's stupid. Nothing's over. Mentioned a time when someone named Pudding killed Cedric's little brother, only for Cedric to come back a year later, a near bird down flea bottom, trying to kill Pudding. No one forgets shit. You hurt people, they'll hurt you back. Trying to give him a little bit of wisdom there about, her time in Flea Bottom, what she's learned about human nature. Basically saying, that there's going to be war forever. Like, you think that this war is over, but then, which
there's
is
there's still more to
come. The world, right? So, they then cut to Flea Bottom and all its horribleness, the disgust of people suffering in this rat-infested streets. Someone in soldier gear, like, now, were these guys part of the Knights Guard? Is that your interpretation of what was going on there? Were they just hanging out in Flea Bottom? Was that Knights Guard people or like people? Because those dudes that stole from them seem to be just like dirtbag, guards of some sort that were hanging out in Flea Bottom, right? Because as we know, Flea Bottom is close to the Knights, to King's Landing there, right? So maybe that's what they were.
Could have been I could have been thieves. No, you think so, King's Guard?
Yeah, because if you saw their arm, why else would they be armored?
I mean,
Do you think they're just rogues?
No, but they have they had like armor almost like what Thing's wearing right now. Dunk's wearing in the thing to fight for his life there now, in the fight of the Seven, right?
Apparently, Ferret, Raph, and Pudding are Dunk's friends in Flea Bottom. Extra backstory they haven't elaborated on. Okay, there you go.
Rafe. Yeah, so I don't know. I didn't think they were King's Guards, but because the fucking guy.
I think so, because
that's the one you're talking about who ends up
taking Alistair.
Taking out what's her name? Rafe.
Yeah, Alistair. So Alistair, so basically this guy's name's Alistair, and I believe he's a King's Guard, if I'm not mistaken. It looks like it. As we know, they did hang out in whorehouses and stuff in Fleet. Like, we know from watching Game of Thrones that they passed through this area, the King's Guard, because King's Landing's not far from Flea Bottom. Like, it's at the top of the hill or whatever. You know what I mean? Yeah, this is in the bottom. So you could have some scumbag guards that hang out there and take advantage, like this guy was, right? So we've seen similar actions in Game of Thrones, right? In that sense. So I don't think that's I think that's what.
King's Guard. No, but they're not supposed to. I guess.
Yeah, they're dirty. They're like dirty cops. Think of it that way.
But
dirty cops hang out in dirty places. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, that's the Night's Watch. Never mind. Different.
Yeah. So basically, he says, he sees them arrive and asks them what's in the bag. He lies and he lies and says rats stunk. When he gets distracted from people rushing by fast, Rafe steals his pouch of booze and they run off.
That pissed him off.
Yeah.
If they would have just shut up and kept their mouth shut, he would let him go with the rats.
She then basically says, like, no, he wanted to see the bag and see if they were lying. He was trying to see the bag. He was going to rob them.
So what were they getting the rats for? People to eat, I guess?
It wasn't rats. That's the stuff they stole.
No, I know, but he said they were rats. Right, so what would you be carrying rats in your fucking bag?
To eat, probably. They live in Flea Bottom. Yeah, there's rats all over the place, right?
Okay. I'm just making sure, man. Just making sure.
The war that just ended between the two Targaryen houses again. So a new lineage of Targaryens are taking over. So it's new Kingsguard and all the pomp and whatever that comes along with it. The pomp and circumstance. Yeah.
So
being part of the winning side. Yeah. Makes sense. So Dunk kind of says, you shouldn't have stolen that. You know what Alistair's like. And she's like, hey, listen, I stole his shit before he stole ours. I could see what was going to happen, right? That, and then she basically she takes a sip of the booze that was in there, the ale, and she throws it out. She says it tastes like shit anyways, and she gets rid of it. They then sell the stuff that they had gathered, and the person buying it says they'll all be plundering that tomb for a dragon's age, I guess, referring to like one of these Targaryen kind of tombs, I guess. And he then returns back a leather piece and said, Daemon's rebellion is over. Take your Blackfire leather elsewhere.
It's the Daemon we all know and have come to love. On the
So that's the thing that Christina's kind of like alluding here to, is that this is kind of taking place like directly after House of the Dragons, the things that they're referring to about the two family houses going at one another, right?
Yeah.
So in that sense, it was even good to have this flashback into your point about how it actually added a lot to the overall series and to the character development here, right? So Dunk asks if it's enough as Rafe counts their stash of money as they hide by candlelight underneath a passageway somewhere in Flea Bottom. Dunk questions if the free cities are no better than here. What if it's worse? Rafe then says, we'll go somewhere else. What if it's all shit? Well, that would be sad. And what if my mother comes back looking for me? If we leave now, how will she find me? She calls him stupid and says, if she is alive, then she's not coming back for you. Dunk says that she doesn't know that. Rafe says, do you want a family? Go out there and get a family. Dunk says he just wants to be with her because you love me. Yeah, well, I love you, don't I? Well, she's like, well, I'm going, so you best be coming with me. This city is just too small for us, Dunk. Let's show her our ass and get the hell out of here, which I kind of really liked that scene where she's like, screw this place.
It's true, you know, it would have been nice to see what comes between these two.
Christina says it's a similar war, but the flashback takes place 13 years before the current tourney at Ashford that we're seeing in real time. Okay. Cool. So then that happens. They get their little moment. It turns to morning. Rafe tells Dunk, let's get a move on. She has the money that they have collected. They go to pay for 2 fares to the free cities. They're trying to escape Flea Bottom. The guy pushes her money back. She says, what? Her silver's no good? He says, the price is double now. You're not the only ones who mean to get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
So that really sucks.
No, that's the end of the day. Yeah, it does. It really does. That was the part that you said where she gets stuck in the neck. Is Anna?
I'm sorry.
The part where she gets taken in the neck. What's her name? Rafe.
You're jumping ahead now, Jay. She didn't get stabbed yet. We're talking.
No,
are you even
you're
listening?
Still talking to the thing. Yeah, you're still talking to the thing. You're still talking about the figure.
She just got told that she has to pay double the amount to get out of into the free cities, right?
Yeah.
So they're trying to leave together. She's kind of disappointed in what just occurred. Says, well, I guess, you got your wish now for wanting to stay and wait for your mother to show back up. She kind of barks at him, says this to him, and then she apologizes for her sudden outburst. Dunk tries to stay optimistic and says they'll find a way. He believes they'll find a way out of there still.
There's a little love like that. That's what I mean. There's this little love story. And that's kind of where you see where you see how Dunk gets a little, when he's a little older, he's got that sort of to him. You know what I mean? He's missing something or along his lines, right? That's why it's kind of cool that they're doing this, right?
As they continue to walk, Alistair comes across them again, calls him out for stealing his flask earlier. He pulls out a sword. There's pigs around making noise. He asks for his ale skin back. She says she sold it. He empties out her bag and ends up stealing her pouch of money with the help of another man that shows up also wearing Kingsguard armor. And, as I said, there's 2 of them at this point. Yeah. He's a sensitive soul. You're talking about JT or or our pal Dunk here?
Yeah, Dunk. I'm pretty sure she's talking about Dunk.
Dunk accepts what has just occurred and says, let's go. After they kind of get robbed there, Rafe pushes past and steals a blade from Alistair. This is now what you're referring to. He realizes it and then comes up from behind her and slits her throat without hesitation. Dunk witnesses this and attacks Alistair from behind, jumps on his back, starts to bite him in the neck. He throws him off. He tells his buddy to stick him. His buddy pulls out like a big pike and ends up stabbing him in the leg.
Yeah.
And this is when Sir Arlen, gangster that he is, busts out of a doorway, hammered.
Probably a whorehouse.
Yeah, exactly. Busts out of a doorway, probably from a whorehouse, hammered, by the way, and ends up just killing the shit out of these two guys, just brutally cuts the guy's head on. This is honestly, this made the flashback scene, this like drunken fight that he gets into, fantastic. It was a bar. Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure bars are like whorehouses out there anyways.
Sure.
Flea Bottom. We're in Flea Bottom there. Anything goes in the bar.
I mean, it could have been a whorehouse for all we know, too. Either or. But yeah, that was so sick how he fought those guys. And like, the second guy he kind of struggled with. He almost didn't kill that guy. He was on the ground. He had to like stab him when he got real close. There was a moment there where he almost had the one up on him. But it's so sick when he sheaths his long sword, and afterwards he's just hammered. He's like he throws the sword back in his sheath.
Dude, that was the best part, is that he took these guys out with his fucking hammered, and he's got to be twice their age almost at that point, because he easily still looks a little older in that part too, right? But I mean, he's just an older knight in general, but hammered out of his mind, and he still had no problem taking him out. So he is this awesome knight that Dunk keeps talking about.
Great. He's like, leave that boy. Let that boy be, or whatever. What does he say? Leave that boy be. Leave that boy be. And he like jumps out and starts like hacking and slashing. So sick. Yeah, so unbothered and sloppy. Yeah, so sick. That was I love that scene. Like Sir Arlen. I'm like, whoa, this guy's a gangster. So he comes out, he's all hammered, swinging his sword. I'm like, cuts that guy's head off, clean off, bro. Like, no hesitation. Like, because he sees the boy in trouble. But, like, again, there's nobody else there, like, that witnessed this, right? So
nobody that's going to say anything. Like,
no.
But really, yeah, Flea Bottom's always packed. But at this point, there was nobody there where this
stuff happens.
No,
yeah, stuff happens though. Like there's all kinds of bad stuff that happens there. So like I guess he got away with it, right? But he cuts their heads off. He cut his head off. He's puking, by the way, all over the place too. He pukes in between fighting. He fucking just yaks. Great stuff. That guy's sick. I really if we continue to get good scenes like that with him through flashbacks, even in other seasons, I'm all here for it. Great stuff.
It's good to know about from what's the name for Penny?
Pennytree, Sir Arlen Pennytree.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true.
Puking everywhere. Eh?
I remember you from back then. All right. Let's see here. Dunk sits over Rafe's body as she bleeds out from her neck wound. Sir Arlen stumbles away after killing them, hammered, yelling, "Get out of my way," as he runs into the street. Dunk starts crying over her death. We then cut to seeing Arlen stumbling around the town the following day, and he starts following Sir Arlen and observing what he is up to. In the night, he approaches him asleep at a campfire and unsheaths his sword and gazes upon it. It cuts to a shot of his shield.
Shield looked nice at that time.
It did.
To look brand new.
Which is kind of why it was important that they kind of focused on that. Yeah. He pets his horse. He gets like a little moment with the horse when he kind of finally falls in love with the horse, I guess, for the first time. Like, and then he looks and tries on his helmet.
Yeah. He's got his helmet on. He tries that on. He was being a little sneaky and poking around. Like, wouldn't you want to do it? I mean, this guy's probably hammered there, sleeping under the tree. I mean, he's sleeping, so we know he's sleeping. But is he hammered under the tree?
Right.
Tends to.
No, he's definitely hammered. He was hammered when he seen him walking around the town the next day, or like Flea Bottom or wherever he was. Right. Like they. Yeah. It turns to morning. Rafe tells. Oh no! Sorry, I cut ahead here. I went back.
It is morning. You are right.
Yeah. Cuts to morning, and he's limping behind him as he's going down the road on horseback with his 3 horses.
That's a beautiful scene with the castle in the background. Like, I don't know if that's a real place out there, but it did. I noticed that was a really beautiful scene where he's kind of just following slightly in the background, and kind of being sneaky, not inconspicuous by any means, but
So I only caught this because I put the closed captioning on, but I knew this. So check this out, what Christina's saying here. As you see him kind of going along the road there, he's singing at one point. He's singing in Dothrakian, Jay. Did you know about this?
No. Who's singing? Arlen?
Sir Arlen.
Come on.
So he has spent some time with the Dothraki people.
Partying it up.
Well,
Like fighting, maybe, bro. Maybe that's where you get some of those skills.
Like Christina's mentioned here, she's so curious to find out about Arlen's experience with the Dothraki. Yeah, I'm old, so I live my life in subtitles. Yeah, so I caught that. Only because for the notes, it's easier to kind of like sometimes get pieces of dialogue by looking at the subtitles.
Especially with the accent too, right?
Yeah, normally I don't do the subtitles, but like every now and then when I'm doing notes for movies, I'll do that kind of stuff, or when we cover the TV. So, but yeah, so during that scene when he's walking down the road, and this is when like he starts following him and he's limping behind him because he's got that wound on his leg. He's riding going on the road on horseback with his 3 horses. Sir Arlen is singing in Dothraki. Like that's like because you could tell he's not speaking in English at one point when he's like singing and like the words and all that. So yeah, he may have spent time with the I don't know if I don't think he's clearly not Dothrakian. Like it doesn't appear that he's Dothrakian because they're more like barbarian and stuff like that. But clearly he spent some time with the Dothraki people to know the language, right?
Oh yeah, that's what he said. The fire, and he's going nuts, and he's just doing that weird
yeah. So this guy wasn't lying. This guy's the shit. All kinds of interesting things about this old man, right?
He spent time at everybody's house. He wasn't joking. Duncan wasn't joking about that, eh? And the episode, he spent with all you guys.
Well, that's the thing about Hedge Knights, a traveling Hedge Knight. He goes around and he doesn't serve anybody specifically, so he has the freedom to have all these experiences. You know what I mean? Like, so that's right. It's just really if you can cut it or not. But clearly, this guy he's in the mix.
He knows what he's doing.
He wakes up one morning, walks over to Dunk, and says, "Get up!" And this is where we cut back to the current real-time day of the tournament right after this. Cuts to the scene with Dunk on the ground after being hit off his horse with a mace. Okay, so now I'm going to kind of go a little quicker through this part, Jay. Feel free to jump in, though, but this is all action at this point. This is all fighting sequences. So I'm going to kind of describe what goes on here. But Christina, you in the chat there, or Jay, feel free to jump in, but I'm going to try to pick up the pace here a bit. So we see people fighting all over the battlegrounds as he gets up, right? Arion and Dunk, they're wrestling on the ground. Dunk gets on top of him for a moment, starts slamming him across the ground. Arion takes his blade out and sticks it in his side. Okay, so right now, he's been knocked off his horse, hit with a mace. He's got a lance in his stomach. He's got a wound from that when he was on the horse jousting. And he's now got a blade in his side. Probably where that lance went, too. Like, it seems like it's on the same... hold on. He's like, same side, I believe. It may even be in the same wound area. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's we'll keep count of how many every time he gets hit. Yeah. Okay. When that happens, he then gets tossed over. Arion then gets tossed over Dunk by another man going by on a horse. Okay.
Yeah.
Then they end up fighting by sword. Now they're both up on their feet. They're fighting with swords.
Yeah, he takes a couple slashes.
He knocks Arion down. Okay.
Yeah.
He comes at him. Dunk gets poked again. Boom. Poked again. A 4th time now. He gets poked with the sword. Okay.
Yeah.
He then. Yeah, he's fighting dirty. I mean, they're fighting dirty, right?
He's got heavy armor thing on too. Right?
Yeah, he's got a shit piece of thin chainmail. That's all he could afford, right? So, it helps a little bit, but not only so much, right? Mm-hmm. So he gets poked again right there and then. You then see them kind of fighting with the sword some more. He gets poked at least 3 or 4 more times here, right? In this fighting moment, okay? He's getting stabbed. He's getting poked, like not like deep thrust, but yeah, he's getting stabbed. He's getting stabbed in his chest, all over his body. This is also when Dunk is fighting without his shield. He has no shield. This is why he's getting poked all over the place. And meanwhile, Arion's got his shield. So whenever Dunk goes to attack him, he's blocking a lot of the attacks, right? He's got the advantage. He's got the advantage.
He's got the upper hand right now.
Yeah. And you know what? he's holding his own in this moment. I'll give him that. Arion he whoops his ass, but he's a trained fighter, much more trained fighter than Dunk.
Dunk is just sheer size and brute power,
man. And heart.
Yeah, and
heart.
So, yeah. Honor.
Yeah. Okay. So this is when Arion, he's blocking his attacks. I think he kind of stumbles down at one moment. Then he turns around and whips a sword into his fucking leg, Dunk's leg. The sword gets thrown into his leg. Okay, so he gets stabbed in his leg again. So again, we're up to like 9 or 10 stabs at this point that he's taken. Right?
I've already lost count. I haven't done.
I think we're up to 10. I think we're up to 10 here. This is when Dunk gets a good shot in. He drives his sword into his thigh. Like
now, this is the point when that girl stands up, right?
Yes, the prostitute there. Yeah, she kind of gives him a bit of a cheer because she kind of gets hyped up because at the fact that he got a blow in, a good blow too. Like he really messes him up there. When he cuts him, like it's right across like his groin area at the side. Like I think it's at his thigh, his upper thigh. He gets his slash across with the sword, right?
Probably the only place that there's no actual fucking metal, yeah.
Right. So he gets a good shot in there. He feels it. You hear him yell out.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay. But then to counter that, he musters up the strength to then drive a sword through the front of his fucking helmet and ends up cutting his eye.
I know, bro.
Yeah.
I thought it went through his eyeball.
No. So I think he's fine. I think it's going to heal, but he definitely like slashed it or poked him. And like I think I don't know if he's gonna have like an eye patch after this, probably.
But that's what I mean. It kind of looked like that's what could have happened. Like, I mean, the guy's like this now. He looks like he's a boxer, beat the fuck out of him.
Well, it's gonna swell up, of course, but he may have just kind of scratched it across his eye. He might still have his vision in that eye. I'm not sure. Okay. It's not like they're doing eye surgery back then, so you don't know what the hell's going on, right? So
you just gotta wait till the swelling goes.
Right. So Christina, let us know. Oh, yeah. There you go. The emojis represent how I watched the rest of this scene. Yeah. I assumed as much. If you know about the future of his eye, Christina, let us know. You could spoil that. I am interested to see if he gets his eye back or not. So, but yeah, that swells right up. It closes up. Like he has one eye now. He has one eye, probably blurred vision.
Yeah.
He ends up taking off the helm because it's like, that's useless to him at this point. Like he needs to see. He can't just like see with one eye outside of the helm at this point after he gets stabbed in there. He gets it right in there with the sword, right?
Yeah.
So he stumbles down from blood loss here at this point and his wounds. He like basically collapses.
Exhaustion. It's gonna be exhaustion too.
They're both tired and beat up at this point. After that, like that him kind of stabbing him in the helm there, that was like a last push by Arion, it seemed like, to kind of like give his last bit of strength there and kind of try to take him out in that moment. Yeah. And then he kind of stands and stumbles around a bit, and then he just ends up falling down, can't get back up. Arion is a few feet away looking at him, also like, what the hell is going to happen next? Is this guy done or what? They're both like on their last legs here, right?
Yeah.
I don't know the future of his eye, but I know the future of Dunk. Okay. All right. So that the eye hopefully is okay. Anyways, so he stumbles and collapses. Okay. The crowd watches in silence when this happens. Aig starts yelling, "Get up, sir. Sir, get up, sir. Get up, sir." Like he starts yelling it out because like everyone's just dead silent because they're shocked about like what they just kind of witnessed between these two fighting, and they're both like collapsed on the ground at this point, right? Yeah. Arion manages to get up, yells out he's dead. It's over as he sees him kind of like, and this is when I'm watching it as a viewer. I got to get your opinions on this, you two. I thought he was dead. I thought it was done. Like I legit, like when you seen him there, like with no sparkle in his eye whatsoever, dead-eyed, lying down face first, I'm just like, yeah, I think he's dead. I really did.
I didn't. I was just thinking exhaustion because I'm thinking, dude.
Really? After all this, Jay, he got stabbed like 11 times.
These guys are knights, man. These guys are warriors. This is what this is what they're built to do. This is what they I mean, like if he is even a knight, but I mean, Dude, he from what we just seen in that flashback, he learned from one of the best over there. If he's coming out like that, you just take it and you keep pushing forward. If you're doing something that you like. I didn't think he was done. I thought they were just gonna say, okay, it's like an exhaustion sort of thing. I just was waiting to see how he was gonna get up, like, or if they. I don't know. I mean, I didn't know if there. I didn't think he was gonna die. I just didn't think there was gonna be.
I threw in the
thought more that
towel.
there was gonna be like he'd still have to go stand in front of the court and stuff like that.
I threw in the towel
Kings.
quick. I was like, I think that this guy's done for. Like, I really
They made
thought
it interesting,
yeah.
right?
I'm just so used to having my heart broken by this show, right? From the different iterations of Game of Thrones, right? So, Egg continues to yell, "Get up, sir." Again, Dunk envisions Sir Arlen saying, "Get up." Like, we cut back to that happening. So, and then you see him jolt up. He's alive. I was very happy about it. His eyes shoot open.
Yeah.
Egg makes sure to yell out, "Wait," because they were about to kind of wrap up the tournament here, right?
Well,
So thank God for him being in his corner in this moment. And so they don't call the fight. He yells out, "Wait." Dunk rises. Aarion's clearly upset as he's like, I don't know how much I have left in the tank here to face this guy, right? He's clearly pissed off. He thought he was done. He's like, I messed up. I'm over this. So he's like, he begrudgingly like puts his helm back down. He's like, all right, okay, here we go again, right? Let's do this. But clearly, whatever bit of strength that he was able to muster, as soon as he gets back up, this guy just pounces on him. This guy just jumps on him and uses the fact that he's double the size of this freaking guy against him. Like, basically just grabs a hold of him and starts whipping his friggin' body up against the ground, right? Like, he's ragdolling him at this point, right? He's just like whipping him around. Takes off that, like, opens his helmet, starts punching him in the face. His face is super bloody, just about to kill this guy, right? He just walloping on him, right? So I love this.
Hitting him with his own shield.
That too. Picks up the shield, starts smashing him with his own shield. I thought he was going to cut his head off with his shield at first.
That's what I thought he was going to.
Yeah.
Like sharp part in, and I was like waiting for that, like right through the mouth or something, man.
Now, the surprising part, I got to say, though, he didn't kill him. I'm very surprised at that. Now, let's go on Game of Thrones logic here, Jay. This might come back to bite him in the ass. This might come back to bite him in the ass.
This is where the end scene kind of, I think is, and I'll tell you once we get to the end scene what I think of this part and that part together. Yeah.
And and this doesn't
Game of Thrones style, like this is where
this doesn't help either, her saying that. This might be it for Duncan. His story might be this, right?
The reason why I say that is because of what happens to the brother, the uncle,
Baelor.
His name, Baelor.
Yeah.
What happens to him at the end? They tend to like to put people.
Well,
they like to hang people for fucking reasons like that. They did that kind of shit to Stark.
I agree, but he chose to do that. But are they going to abide by the rules? That's the question. That is
the question. They're
right.
Targaryens, bro.
Right. They're dirty. Yeah, for sure.
They're at the end of their era. So, like, you think along the Game of Thrones style, which way do you go, right?
Okay, so yeah, that happens. His face is very bloody. He very faintly tells him he yields after he gets the shit beaten out of him here. He says he yields. May death sustain life. I don't know what she's alluding here.
There's
alluding to here.
There's a line in there.
Yeah.
I think it was in this episode, if I'm not mistaken.
Is it this episode? Need some context here. So Dunk forces him up.
He says.
Dunk forces him out. He looks around. He sees all this like bloodshed happening on the battlefield in because of him, like because of his involvement in all this, right? Sees, people going down, people fighting. He picks him up and forces him over to like the council there, and he basically forces him. He's like, tell him you yell, tell him, you yelled. And he says, like, I retract my accusation of this man, or whatever the hell he says. And all of a sudden there's a uproar of of excitement from some people in the crowd, right? That they blow the horn, the tournament's over, the trial of the seven's over. He withdraws his and that's what's so bullshit about this, man. I really wish he killed him. He definitely deserved to die in that moment, but he knew that if like there was always that possibility that he would bow out of the fight before it actually ever occurred. And but the problem is like they messed each other up so bad that they had to go through with this to this extent, and that lives were lost, including his uncle. That's what sucks about this. This didn't have to happen. No. None of this had to happen. This is all Aerion's fault. Targaryen. Exactly. This is all his fault for calling his uncle's bluff with this trial of 7. This is all his fault.
They seem to do that a lot. I don't find it. I mean, some of these big, powerful.
They're self-destructive.
They get too big for themselves, and then they end up blowing themselves up. Greed, whatever it be. Right.
And then we get into like the final big scene of the episode here. The big shocking conclusion of this episode. So Dunk's messed up. They're trying to tend to his wounds. You got Steely Pete there, the armor guy. He's over there trying to like see to it that they take the chainmail off to him and treat the wounds. Dunk turns around and he says, who died? Did anybody die in the battle? While they're checking his wounds, and Raymond Fossaway is sitting there with them. I can't believe this guy survived too. Another guy, night in training, but like is still a squire, right? Prior to this fight, so that's amazing.
He took a beating too.
Yeah, he says Humphrey Beesbury went down in the first charge, and so did Humphrey Harding. So the guy that couldn't even get off his horse, and that guy that we seen for the first time this episode, even though he was technically signed up last episode, they're both dead. So whatever. The 2 people we didn't really even know, gone.
We didn't even care about them.
They're gone. Okay, these 2 people went down in the first round, like the first joust, like back and forth. The first charge, they say. Then, he says, okay, we'll get you drunk. Steely Pete tells him in terms of, healing the wound there. And we're going to pour boiling oil all over it. This is when Baelor Targaryen walks in and he says, not oil, wine. If you pour oil on it, it'll kill him. They're trying to like flesh out the wound and kind of like tend to it. But if he put burning oil on it, that would not be like, I think in their eyes, that's going to close up the wound, I guess they're thinking. I don't know, but like he's like, no, it's not oil, because Steely Pete's like saying like it's the maesters do it all the time. We're gonna put boiling oil in it, and then thank God for Balon there. He's like, no, it's wine, not oil, right?
Yeah,
so you kill him
wine because it's got at least the alcohol, right?
Right. So he says no, not the oil. Yeah. It's gonna get infected probably and shit like that, right? So
milk of the poppy, I don't think back then.
No, I don't think so. We haven't talked about it at all here. Got to remember too, like you, by the time we hit Game of Thrones, that you've had hundreds more of. Actually, yes, they did have milk of the poppy. House of the Dragon had milk of the poppy.
That's what I thought it was from, right?
But
we haven't heard it here.
But they're trying to save him, not put him out of his like. That's like if you're on your way out, you give him milk of the poppy. Yeah, it's like a heroin or something essentially, right? You know what I mean? Like, yeah. Hence the poppy, right?
Yeah.
So that's what they say that they're gonna do. But then he basically says to Raymond Fossaway, come over here, sir. Raymond, can you please take off my helm? Help me with this helm.
Correct.
So,
but
this is when
you can't feel things too. If you know
what
he says.
Yeah, hold on.
Yeah.
He says, when you're done, I'll send a maester over. Actually, he says first to him when he's done tending to my brother to help you to Dunk. This is when Dunk tells Baelor he is his man. He bows down to him in this scene. He says, he says like, I'm yours, like for basically, throwing your hat in the ring here. Like I'll serve you. Like I'm yours, your man. And he's messed up. Like he's in bad shape right now in this scene. Baylor looks way better than he does, right? until
And
the
a quick
wound is
glance,
revealed.
and a quick glance,
At
yeah.
a quick glance, yeah.
And he's still on. That's when Duncan's on one knee. You know, he's all
Yeah.
slow and beaten up and bloody. And
Eyes
still
closed, yeah. And he replies like, "I need good men, Sir Duncan." Like he's like happy that he's like throwing in with them. He's like, "Yes, I need good men in the realm." And he says something about the realm, but then he like stumbles back, or Dunk stumbles back in pain. Like he yells out in pain. Like they both kind of are like messed up.
Yeah, Ding stumbles back. It's
Baylor.
Baylor, yeah.
But then Dunk
Baylor's
yells
fine.
out in pain, and he has to kind of get put back down too, right?
Sits down,
So that
yeah.
this is when Baylor asks, Sir Raymond there to help remove his helm. He says his visor's cracked, and this is when I knew he was screwed. He says my fingers feel like wood. I'm like, oh no, I'm like that's not
Something's
good.
up. No.
Yeah, like no, that's not a good sign, dude. He just, so then he gets Steely Pete there to come. They remove his helm from behind, which was smashed in. That's why he was having a hard time taking it off his head.
Yeah.
But what he didn't realize is smashed in right into the back of his skull. And when they say it's smashed in, he's like, oh yeah, most likely by my brother Makar, his brother there. Hit him with it. He's like, oh yeah, he hit me with his mace. He's like, he's strong. Like he kind of says laughing, he's laughing. He's like, he's strong, right? Yeah. So same. Yeah. Yeah. With the wood part. Yeah. That I'm like,
Dude, just like that stare after they take his helmet off.
So yeah, here I got the scene here. I gotta throw on the background for you guys here. So all of a sudden they go to remove. Yeah, you could kind of see Steely Pete's face there. Jay's in the way here, but like basically, Raymond is a little. Hold on, Jay, 1 second. Oh no, then I cover it. So Raymond basically that's where Jay's head is. He's a little shorter, so they're both like aghast, like looking after they take off the helm, and then this guy just puts his hand up to the back of his head and goes like this, sees the blood, and then he does a full turn around to the POV of the viewer, and you see the back of his head just caved in. He's got like half a skull. He's right. It's crazy. I mean, it's just like in the brutal, violent way that Game of Thrones can get. Yeah, sorry. You gotta relive it again, Christina.
Was awesome. You can literally have half a head and still be standing there.
What a scene.
Half your brain is gone.
What a scene. Yeah, that was, again, just to have his reaction like that. And then when he kind of, I guess like the shock kind of wore off there, what the realization of how his head's fucking half there.
Or how it died out. Yeah. It just,
and then he just collapses dead right there on the spot, of course. So yeah, so that happens. And then he turns around to show the viewer, like I said, after he put his head back there, what happened to his head. Egg is shocked. Dunk sits over him, holding him, crying out that he's sorry. And then the episode ends. It's very tragic. Very tragic.
That guy's got too much to be on Game of Thrones, bro.
Gus Fring 2.0, yeah, from Breaking Bad. Remember? That's a good comparison. Yeah. From Breaking Bad, the bad guy in Breaking Bad, when he gets taken out, there's a similar way that he gets taken out in terms of like his body being half there but still upright for a moment. Yeah, I won't, that's kind of spoiling some Breaking Bad shit if you guys never seen it, but yeah, that's major death there for sure. Yeah, very tragic end to the episode, and what an end. What a way to end this one out. Crazy. I was speechless. I was like, and again, another guy that seems like he's honorable and a good person, like out of the Targaryens too. Like he is like one of the more honorable Targaryens, and he's next up in line to be king. And this happens.
Mm-hmm.
So a couple of things. I saw a headline of an article today.
Okay.
That said the biggest twist of this episode is that Baelor's death basically starts a chain reaction as to why Game of Thrones happens.
Makes sense.
Because listen, you gotta understand now, with him dead and having been next up to be king, that means it's gonna go to one of the other family members, and it goes on from there. Now, if this guy was king, they may have had a shot at having somebody who is honorable and good. We don't know, but we're just to go off of what he exhibited within these last couple of episodes. He definitely wasn't an asshole like his brother or the sons, right? Or that we've seen so far. Yeah, there you go. So that's what the article says. So I didn't really drill into it or look into it too much, but if I'm just going to think about it for a moment and what that person was, what this article was alluding to is that this is the chain reaction that basically leads to the eventual Game of Thrones fight for the throne that we're left with and the power struggle and the Targaryens finally eventually losing the throne, which leads to the Game of Thrones. So this is the first in the line of what I think is what leads to all of that stuff is what the article alluded to. And, given Christina's reaction there, I'm sure that, that is true.
Like the downfall of the Targaryen and that part at that high of power at that time.
Well, they're already in the midst of them at their lowest in terms of their power. And this already has been, we've talked about that this is the start of their downfall. But as it's already been alluded to, we know that there is other kings to follow already, right? So we know that that's going to happen still. There's still going to be other kings in line of their family, but this is definitely going to change the outcome of how that all plays out. So I guess, we'll see
I just I feel like Duncan's going to take the fall for this fucking shit in a weird way. That's why he should have killed him. Like we were saying in the beginning, I think
he should have killed him.
That's what's going to bite him in the ass. I just, for some sake, I haven't looked into this at all by any means. Like, Christina, don't give it away if you've read the fucking books or whatever. But honestly, I just feel like that could have been that in this part here because he's going to be holding the line, right?
Well, if Aerion becomes king next or at some point, he's screwed. Right?
That's what I mean, right?
Yeah.
You let him live, right? It'd be nice if Egg became queen. Egg became king. Yeah, you know what I mean?
But he's the youngest, though.
It's a problem. A lot of people have to die first.
Right.
Yeah.
So.
But
so yeah, I mean, that's kind of what we have to look forward to from between now and the next seasons, as well as whatever else we learn prior to Game of Thrones setup. Like, I don't know if this is going to take us 100% up to the point of Game of Thrones, but it's going to get us pretty far, I think, along the way.
It has,
or at
it
least
has to get us to like grandfathers of whoever's on Game of Thrones at least.
Or what it's going to do is we're really going to preview, like they're going to set up characters that are going to see our way up to the point of Game of Thrones, right? So
it makes me want to go watch Game of Thrones again, man. Honestly, it makes me just want to binge watch it for a while.
I mean, Christina's done it several times.
I know it's making me want to go back because I want to just see how it played out because it's not a show. It's not one that you wouldn't want to go back to.
Christina says here, I disagree. Without spoilers, it goes against Dunk's character point blank.
Not killing him.
Yeah, that's true. No, he's right. He's kind-hearted, as we know, right?
Yeah,
so that's a good point. That's a good point. I just think that, like,
that's where I think this part will fuck him.
I'm with Jay. If there's anything we've learned about but if there's anything we've learned about this story so far, it is kind of breaking the expectations that we're kind of used to from this world, right? There is some moments where that I feel like they threw us for a loop, and other things have occurred so far, but I just don't like that being in play. Him killing Aerion, yeah, I just don't like this. I'm with Jay. I think that. It's too dangerous having him out there. You know what I mean? Like, he's going to have a hard on for him no matter what happens now.
Yeah, of course.
It's
even I think Aegon's going to have to fucking watch himself too, because he knows he's been cheering for him. Is he going to I don't even know how that's going to end up because, he is his brother at the end of the day, but he's there for fucking Dunk. So I don't know what's going to happen and play out right after this. So that's why it is kind of interesting. There's a lot of different possibilities. I mean, we know what Game of Thrones is, but we still don't know how it got there from this point, which is still really interesting.
I just think if I've learned anything, it's not good that he's still alive. That's all I'll say about that, right?
Yeah. then you have like
It may not be today, it may not be tomorrow, but he's gonna come back at him at some point, given
That's
that
what I
he
mean.
got embarrassed, right? Like this.
Yeah, let him heal up and his fucking brain start working like an idiot again. And we'll see what happens. That's what I mean, right? You can't trust these guys.
So, but next episode, episode 6, the last episode of the season, that one's called The Morrow. I guess the next day, right?
Tomorrow.
Maybe like, right? Like, so what's gonna happen now? Like, I think that his day in the tournament is done. Like, he's too messed up now.
Yeah.
The next episode length, I don't know. Let me go check. I don't know if we have that information yet. Or Jay, do you want to check on the next episode length, episode 6, The
I don't know
Morrow?
if it'll.
I got my phone here actually. Give me a second.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if I'll. The moral. Hold on. It's on my. I'm on Wiki right now, but it won't tell me the length. I'm pretty sure it won't tell me the length. But yeah, it's probably another 40-minute episode, I would think. Right? You know what I mean? Like, I can't see it being any shorter than that.
It says it's gonna be one of the shortest episodes yet, clocking in at just 31 minutes without ads. That's brutal. And that's without credit. That's with credits probably too. So that you mean it's gonna be like 20, it's gonna be less than half an hour.
Wow.
Oh my god.
They're getting good at this, eh? They're getting
Yeah.
good at fucking us like this.
You know, that's just like, again, there's a lot still on the table here in terms of like, I know we're coming back to whatever this world or this story is. We don't know yet which characters are all going to be returning next season. But that being said, like, there's still a lot like left unsaid that I want to know about this situation, about this character. And I want to know about like, you know, I think the tournament part of it's over, but like the next episode is basically just them going to be wrapping up this storyline with the Targaryens. Like this is, or for this conflict anyways, this is basically going to be them dealing with the fallout of this Trial of Seven next episode.
That's just the one. The start of that what's going to happen of the fallout.
But that's what I mean.
I think we're still going to make us wait another year till we figure out.
Sure, they're gonna have to set something else up for the last part of the episode for the next season for sure. But I mean, like, whatever happens as a result of the outcome of this Trial 7, they're gonna have to deal with that next episode. Like, that's gonna be the focus, obviously, right? So,
but no, it's I can't wait, to be honest with you. I can't wait.
This
to
was
see the
great.
Next episode, it's gonna, and I hate it because then we're gonna have to wait at least another year for this to come out.
It will be a year, yeah. It'll be a year.
I mean, because the girlfriend was asking too, because I think this one got her real attention. Now she's like really into it.
She likes it. Nice.
Or is that she actually went like this? And I don't see
her
fucking.
These
like
last two
Swedish,
episodes,
right? So,
these last two episodes have been fantastic. And like Christina was mentioning earlier when she was on with us before her computer gave out, it is like the definitive, like, it's great that it's a knight's tale, like a knight story, like seeing the knight fight. I mean, that was quite the hot take. She said that with this, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong there, but she basically said this is one of the best fights in all of Game of Thrones, which
it was, but you know what? You didn't
from the knight, from a knight perspective, perspective. Yeah. Because we've seen big wars in Game of Thrones.
Jousting too. We've seen wars.
Yeah, but not to this degree. I think like this was a really good back and forth fight. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know if I'm prepared to say it was like the best, even from the perspective of a knight fight.
I don't know about that.
Because, like, what are we counting? Are we counting some of the stuff that, like, if we're going to count some of the Jaime fights, like, he had some pretty good fights, too, but...
But he had a lot of stuff where you would see more gruesome stuff. This stuff was just quick blows and shots here and there, quick and that, because they kept going back to the...
Brienne of Tarth had some good... Yeah.
Right? And
this was much more focused, though. Yeah, you're right. This was more...
focused on key shots and key hits and key whatever and moments, but then at the end, they just focused in on, him battling one-on-one.
It was the most realistic, which to me, it made it great. Yeah, I know you're making good points. It's definitely in the running. Yeah, I get it. I mean, yeah,
you know what? I would say the finishing product to it, where they were both fighting on their feet, barely standing up, and then getting into the fest. I think that part was the most of a night thing that I can think of overall. The other ones were just like straight up combat, like war style things. Realistic. They did make it look realistic. The sound made it sound realistic. It was really good that way.
Battle of the
Yeah.
Bastards was the best, hands down overall. Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's true. That's true. I think you're right. Yeah.
The Battle of the Bastards.
So very quickly, I have just a few like extra, behind the scenes facts that we did get from Wiki of Westeros. They had these ready. Let me just scan over it and see if there's anything interesting to mention before we wrap up. And I really hope that we figure out in terms of what happened there with Christina today. I'm glad she was able to join us here in the chat, but hopefully we can get that stuff worked out for next episode, because that is the finale. And I'm very much looking forward to that. But thank you, Christina, for hanging out in the chat here today and providing some extra commentary here to the conversation. So by hanging in there that way. The extended flashback to Dunk's childhood in the slums of Flea Bottom is an invention of the TV series, drawing on what little Dunk mentioned about his youth in the first 3 novellas. It is unknown if George R.R. Martin contributed any of that information. So a lot of the Flea Bottom stuff is them just kind of making things up. It seems like it's alluding to here in this. That's what it says here. Like, it's basically an invention more so of the TV show. The long flashback scene makes this the first episode of the series that King's Landing has appeared on screen. So there you go. There's that.
Is that where we see the Flea Bottom and where we see like that castle in the background?
Yeah, bro. That's what I was saying to you earlier.
where
You
they're
forget.
walking up the- no, where
You
they're
forget.
walking up the thing. Yeah.
You forget that Flea Bottom is at the bottom
Yeah.
of that big hill where King's Landing is. So the rich, it's literally, you know how like the rich look the poor? Like it's
Yeah.
like that. Like, do you remember in Game of Thrones when Cersei is doing the shame through the streets? She's going through the streets of Flea Bottom as they're
Yeah.
throwing shit at her, because
Yeah.
those are the lower people. Like, they're like the capital essentially of Westeros for the kingdom. But
Yeah, and
but the problem is, like, they have all these poor people that are literally right underneath their feet, right? Like on
Yeah.
top of the thing.
yeah.
Yeah. So they gave us half an episode of a fake story. Yeah. But it was good. It was a good story. I mean, it was like they made up a pretty interesting one if that was just made for the
For
TV,
the
right?
series,
It's so they could save some money on that battle. This is what Christina mentioned earlier. Dunk does recall in the 3rd novella that 3 of his fellow street urchins in Flea Bottom were called Ray, Ferret, and Pudding. So that is from the book. They weren't giving any physical description. The TV series version of Rafe is female, and they do refer to Ferret and Pudding by name and dialogue. The novella doesn't mention any of them looting the dead after the battle of Red Grass Field. That's the battle that they were in.
Okay.
So if you want to look up some stats about that, Jay, it's the Battle of Red Grass Field, that battle. So if you want to check out any information on that one. The novellas never state what happened to the other 3 orphans or if any of them were still alive when Dunk left with Sir Arlen. Alistair and his thugs are not in the novellas. Oh, there you go. Oh, here's her answer. I actually didn't come across this stuff earlier, guys, or I would have added it to what we were guessing. The end credits actually identify him as Alistair City Watchman, implying he was a former member of the City Watch who had his left hand cut off for theft. The exact scene of Dunk's first meeting with Sir Arlen hasn't been described in the novellas. So again, if this was an invention of the TV series, that was fantastic. Like, that was like Arlen busting through the door and throwing down like that was great.
Well, yeah, especially if they've never actually had a meeting of it. So yeah,
right,
that would have been cool. Yeah,
I assume Pudding looks like hot pie. With a name like that, one could, yeah, you would think so. Of course, like, yeah, it's just funny they having these like larger characters in Flea Bottom where everyone's starving.
Yeah, I know, eh?
Let's see here. Young Dunk, Rafe, and other characters in Flea Bottom all speak with Irish accents. The novellas do mention that Dunk speaks with a recognizable King's Landing accent, but Martin made no attempt to convey what different regional accents in Westeros sound like. When actor Peter Claffey was cast as adult Dunk, the decision was made early on that he should simply use his natural Irish accent so as not to affect his performance and comedic timing. And thank God for that. If this guy was like talking with another accent than his own, I think it would. I like the fact that he's got an Irish accent as this character. It actually It's great. I think it's much better as a result of that choice. So good on them. The TV producers apparently chose to incorporate this by simply presenting that a flea bottom accent sounds like an Irish accent. So all the actors in this flashback sequence adopted Irish accents to match Peter Claffey. So there you go. They actually cast Irish actors around that character to make it seem like they all have Irish accents in Flea Bottom. So there you go. Flea Bottom is Ireland.
There you go. You want to be at the bottom? Go to Ireland.
And then finally, young Dunk is hesitant to leave King's Landing in part because he wonders if his mother will come looking for him, though he admits that she's probably dead. In the novellas, Dunk specifies that he never knew who either of his parents were, though the TV dialogue is worded in such a way that it's unclear if Dunk has any actual memory of his mother. So there you go.
Okay, cool.
And that's it. That's it for this episode. Am I the only one that didn't notice a difference in his dialect? Christina said. I mean, in the kid Dunk or the adult Dunk? In the adult Dunk, for sure, you realize that he's Irish. I mean, if you're not, come on. Come on, Christina.
The young kid, no.
Maybe not as much. No, maybe the young kid I didn't notice as much.
But also, they gotta, I mean, what's his name? Egg is doing as a young kid. He's doing a pretty good fucking accent that he's got there going on. Whatever he's got, that highborn accent that he's got going on.
Yes.
Doing that good. He's really doing that good, right? So
right.
I mean, it's not easy as a young actor, but that's when you know you're skilled, right?
Right.
You can start changing your voice around.
Oh, sorry. No, I got a bit more here. Sorry, I thought this was it. What else do I got here? This marks the first time that House Blackfire heraldry has been seen on screen in this episode. The blacksmith at Dunk and Rafe sell gear they looted from the battlefield outside the city tells him that he can't accept leathers with the Blackfire sigil on them because no one will buy and wear gear displaying allegiance to the defeated rebels.
Yeah.
Daemon Blackfire was King Daeron the Good's bastard half-brother, and it is common custom for bastards in Westeros to adopt personal heraldry that reverses the colors of their highborn parents' house. Thus, the Blackfire heraldry is a black three-headed dragon on a red background. Young Dunk also refers to Daemon as the Black Dragon as they walk back to the city. So there you go.
Red, and that's the same Targaryen symbol, but
it's different color because he was a bastard.
Because he has the black.
Did that happen with Jon Snow too?
I don't know, man.
Yeah.
It's making me want to go back and figure that out.
While a heraldry of House Targaryen within a Knight of the Seven Kingdoms has consistently depicted a dragon with 2 legs, the dragon on the heraldry of House Blackfire has 4. Huh.
Oh, that's interesting.
And then Daemon Blackfire was directly named after his famous ancestor, Daemon Targaryen, a main character in House of the Dragon. We might be reading into this too many of these other characters now.
There's the 4 on this actual symbol here. If you look on the one that he's sitting on, he's got 4 legs.
Yeah.
But you don't see the red, obviously, in the background because it's silver, right? Or whatever it is, metal of some sort, steel, right?
The flashback sequence begins in the aftermath of the Battle of Redgrass Field.
Maybe that's where the fucking Targaryen, maybe they fought each other there. Maybe that was the red symbol, the flag that I see.
Well, hold on. I think this is going to get into it.
Wow.
Apparently, from the lineages and histories of the great houses of the Seven Kingdoms, it indicates that this battle occurred in 196 AC, the same year as the books, placing the sequence. Oh, this is what Christina was saying. 13 years before the tourney at Ashford Meadow. Yeah, Christina mentioned all this earlier.
Which is in the beginning.
Yes, of when looting the bodies.
Okay.
Okay.
Wow. Okay.
The actor playing young Dunk states that his playing age is 12 to 15 years old. If Dunk is 12 years old in the flashback sequence, this means he is 25 years old during the events of season 1, around 8 to 9 years older than his book counterpart. So he's actually aged up in the show compared to the book, because in the book it sounds like he was like 17 or 18 or something like that. It sounds like. So that's interesting. 16 or 17. That's interesting too. Sir Arlen is heavily drunk in the flashbacks because he is bereaved that his nephew, this is interesting, I didn't know this, and last living relative died in the recent battle, which Dunk mentioned back at the start of the second episode. Look at this. Young Dunk even sees his freshly dug grave. Yeah, that's right. Arlen then appears to be singing gibberish as he rides away from King's Landing, given that HBO provided no intelligible subtitles for his song. After the episode aired, however, linguist David J. Peterson revealed a linguist for the Game of Thrones world. It's like Star Trek shit, bro, with
Klingons, bro.
A linguist, David J. Peterson, revealed that Arlen is actually singing in Dothraki, apparently some old Dothraki war song that he picked up from foreign mercenaries. This means that Peterson is now one of the few crew members who officially worked on all 3 TV series so far in the world of Westeros. Bravo. Good for you, Peterson. It is difficult to see except with freeze frame, but Raymond Fossaway's shield displays a green apple during the trial instead of the standard red apple of House Fossaway. Yeah. This is also confirmed by behind-the-scenes videos that clearly show the prop shields.
Yeah, we are nerding out here.
Yeah, listen, this is one of the better parts of the show here when we nerd out like this. A line was cut from the novella in which Raymond explains that he hastily repainted it green in the brief time after Lionel knighted him. So there you go. So that's the information behind that. So he purposely changed it after he got knighted, I guess. Maybe he doesn't want to be related with his brother anymore because he's he chooched out on them, went to the other side, right? Like a piece of shit that he was for a lordship. I guess if he survives, he's gonna become a lord now too, right? So yeah, so it says that. So offended was Raymond at his cousin Stefan's, or not his brother, his cousin, betrayal that he broke ties with the main branch of House Fossaway of Cider Hall. See, I actually didn't read that yet. It's hilarious. The 2 branches are called the Red Apple Fossaways and Green Apple Fossaways. Bro, there's
all about trees. I told you, bro.
Bro, there's a disconnect.
And the branches.
There's a disconnect of the Fossaways now with different colored apples and different factions of the family. That's hilarious.
So red and green, is that how the fuck it, like, there's that, remember the whole red and green thing? And it has always been that with Game of Thrones, like that, the colors always are meaning something.
You shut up, crazy.
I'm telling you, man.
Peter Claffey specifically states in the inside the episode video that Dunk doesn't kill Aerion at the end because he has yielded. And Dunk still held true to the honor Sir Arlen taught him that he must spare a foe he yields. Okay, there to Christina's point. That's not true to the character. This is similar in the novella, though the order is slightly different. Okay, Raymond Fossaway says that Humphrey Harding and Humphrey Beesbury both died in the first charge of tribal combat. In the novella, Beesbury died in the first charge, but Harding was mortally wounded and died soon after. Okay, but they both still died.
But they both still died.
Yeah. You want to hear something interesting here?
Sure. I'm hearing a lot.
What else do we got here, right? The medical term for Baelor's head injury appears to be a depressed skull fracture. That's when it like caves in, right? Even with modern medical treatment, and if his helmet hadn't been removed, Baelor still would not have survived more than a few hours. He was already showing alarming symptoms, walking unsteadily, slurred speech, and losing feeling in his fingers.
You still have a couple hours after you get smashed in the head, so you're good.
If they didn't remove the helmet, that's what did him in, because that's where the blood flow, like it was impacted into his skull.
Yeah, it was keeping
right
it in there. Yeah.
I actually saw an article today when I was like looking stuff up that literally said, by today's medical standards in 2026, would he have survived this? And then there's a whole thread where people was like, no, everyone's like, he wouldn't have survived this. What is wrong with you?
I'm surprised he's even walking, dude. Like, seriously, that's flathead to the max.
I think actual medical people and people in the medical field were actually chiming in this thread. They're just
probably like, with different names, hashtags. There's some different names in the thread.
Daron's prophetic dream about Dunk and the dragon from the previous episode came true. A great dragon, Jay, Baelor Targaryen, would fall on Dunk, but he would remain alive while the dragon was dead. Do you remember his dream?
Yeah.
Because he sees himself as a dragon.
Wow. Okay.
Baylor's lifeless body fell backwards into Dunk's arms. Whoa. The prophecy came true, Jay. The prophecy came true.
I'm telling you, man, it's all about the visions.
This guy. It's all about the trees and it's all about the visions for Jay.
Whatever somebody was doing mushrooms back then and they were getting hallucinogens going on. Something was happening. There was gas coming from the ground or something, toxins.
Oh, God.
These guys with their hallucinogens, these guys were always getting it right. Whether it be a raven or a dragon, a Targaryen, fuck.
There you have it.
There you go.
So that's going to do it for this episode. Those are all the fun facts I had behind the scenes, little tidbits. Some interesting stuff there, though. I'm glad we went through those. Those are some really interesting things that added to the episode,
Nice.
especially that last vision bit. And of course, we had to learn about the head fracture as well.
They got to debunk that one, eh? They got to do one sort of like thing about, okay, if your head was smashed in this much, how long would you have?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's going to do it for this episode, everyone. Make sure to like and subscribe. One more episode to go. We'll be back here live next week. If I had to guess, it's probably going to be on Wednesday, I think. Hopefully, we can get this Wiki of Westeros notes up by then. I can't wait for this finale, though, bro. I can't wait. It's going to be a big one. And, we'll see what else happens, what occurs from now till then. We hope Christina, shout out to Christina, was up in the chat here today. Adding to the conversation because she had some internet issues on her end. Let's hope she gets that figured out for next week.
Yep.
And otherwise, yeah, we'll be back here as always next week for episode 98 of Watching the Throne. And by the time we get to episode 100, bro, we'll be back into House of the Dragon territory this summer. So stay tuned for that. I think between now and then, episode 99 is going to be our trailer reaction episode when the first trailer drops for House of the Dragon. We'll have to come out here and talk about that and get caught up with everything going on in the world of Westeros prior to the release of that new season. So I can't wait for that. But stay tuned. Still a lot to go through next episode and still a lot to cover. And like I said, I hope Christina will be back with us here again on screen next week for that one.
Yep.
And you guys all have a good week out there. Jay, thank you as always. This was a lot of fun. And we'll see what happens. I can't wait. I'm worried though, Jay. I'm not gonna lie. I'm worried about our boy.
I know, but as it can't be much to worry about, man. We've seen it all through Game of Thrones, buddy. We've seen it all.
I know.
Let's see what other surprises they can throw at us.
Yeah. Thanks again to Christina and for hanging in there via the chat today. And we'll see you guys all next week for the finale, which is called Moro. And it's the season 1, episode 6, the final episode of this season of A Night of the Seven Kingdoms. So stay tuned for that, guys.
Can't wait.
All right, Jay. We'll see you guys next time. Thanks, everyone. Make sure to like and subscribe. Peace out.
Peace out.
Welcome to the show, everybody.